Good evening and welcome to this Cphbusiness webinar on how to apply to one of our AP degree programs. My name is Katrine and I am one of 4 people you can expect to meet in front of the camera in this session. For the next 20 to 25 minutes, we are going to take you through what you need to have and what you could choose to attach in order to apply to our upcoming February 2021 study start. Now, please note that this session is mainly targeted at EU citizens. Also, you need to remember or keep in mind that we are recording today, and we would very much like you to interact with us as we go along. In total, we're going to be together until 6:45 as a maximum. So in case there are any questions we didn't address through the webinar, we will follow up after if we have your contact details. Also, when you ask questions, you should use the Q&A you can find somewhere on your screen. So Q&A for questions. You can also find a chat function, but that one we will mainly use to post different relevant information for you. So your questions in the Q&A, please. Now, to make this relevant to all of you, we hope that you will ask us questions of a general relevance to more than just you. If you already know that your question is only relevant to you, then we would encourage you to send us an email, and my colleague Søren, he's going to post an email you can write to in case you have unique circumstances you would like to discuss with us. So make sure to use that one for private messages. That was it from me for now. I am going to pass you on to Charlotte for now. We hope that you will enjoy this session.
Hello, my name is Charlotte and I'm one of the study counselors here at Cphbusiness. Welcome. Here today I'm to talk about what you need to do when you want to apply for either the AP program in Service, Hospitality and Tourism Management or the AP program in Marketing Management. First of all, you need to check that you meet the admission requirements for the 2 programs. So if we have a look at the first slide here, for the AP program in Service, Hospitality and Tourism Management, you need, of course, a qualifying exam, and I'll return to that in a moment. And then you need to send us a documentation that you have either 125 hours of mathematics or 75 hours of business economics that you have received during your upper secondary school, and this we need proof for. You also need to have a passed English test, and I'll return to that in just one moment. If we look at the AP degree in Marketing Management, you can see that again we need a qualifying exam and then a transcript that shows that you have either 250 hours of mathematics or 210 hours of business economics. And again, we need to see a passed English test. And on this next slide, you can see what kind of English tests we accept here at Cphbusiness. Now, for example, you can see that we accept the TOEFL test, where though the minimum score has to be at least 83 points. And also the IELTS test, and I know that there might be some waiting time for or waiting lists for these tests, for taking these tests. So if you're thinking of doing that, please advise yourself to check up on this quite quickly. Also, we accept some of the Cambridge tests, and you can also, if you're in this country and have taken either Danish level A or B in English, send that in for us. And you can see what the average grades, the minimum average grades that you need to have in order to prove that you pass the test need to be. And you should know that these test results should be quite recent. So that means within the past 3 years or so, you have had to pass these tests and then you can send them in when you apply. I would like to add that even though you have passed these tests, we do require quite a high level of English. All the programs in English are taught on quite a high level of English. So if you don't feel comfortable with English, you should consider it, because then you might feel left off, you know, once the tuition starts. But at least this is what we require for you to apply. Now, for the next slide, you can see the documentation you need to attach. And first of all, it says a copy of your qualifying exam. A copy of your qualifying exam means a copy of your original diploma and transcript of grades from your upper secondary school, university, or similar. Some applicants are, depending on where you have completed your upper secondary school, required to have completed a number of years of university studies as well after the upper secondary school, in order for your qualifications to be considered equal to a Danish upper secondary school diploma. If you want to check this, you could check with the guidelines from the Danish Ministry of Higher Education and Science, and I know that link will be attached to our chat later on. So again, a qualifying exam, and then again the documentation for enough hours of either mathematics or business economics that I just went through again probably from your upper secondary school certificate. Your English test, the one you choose to take and send to us, and then make sure that all these copies are translated into either Danish or English, because otherwise we'll have a hard time understanding them and we cannot accept them. If you have somebody else applying for you for some reason, you might be traveling, whatever, of course we need a power of attorney if somebody else is applying on your behalf for any of these programs. And this was the documentation you need to attach to your application. Now my colleague Søren will go through other documentation that you might want to attach as well.
Yes, thank you, Charlotte. My name is Søren, and I'm going to tell you some more about your application. What Charlotte has just told you are requirements to the application. Your application will not even be considered if you don't fulfill these requirements. However, to fulfill the requirements is no guarantee to get accepted, because we have more applicants than we have places available. We will select the best qualified applicants for admission according to certain criteria. Of course, we will attach great importance to the average grade of your qualifying exam. That's very important. Therefore, do your best to achieve high grades in your qualifying education. But now I am going to tell you about 3 additional kinds of documentation that you can upload in order to improve your chances of being accepted. First of all, the motivational letter. In this letter, you can explain why you have chosen the program concerned and why you have chosen Denmark as your destination. Please tell us if you have some connection to Denmark. You could also tell us about your plans for the future. Which kind of jobs are you aiming at? What is your dream job? You can mention whatever you want to and what you think could be relevant for us to know. It could be leisure time activities, sports, etc. But please be honest and authentical. We appreciate that very much. And also do not let the motivational letter exceed 1 page. Secondly, you could upload documentation of your work experience. And it's very important to underline that it's not sufficient to enclose a CV. You should preferably submit recommendation letters from your employers. Finally, you can tell us about supplementary education and other activities. It could be IT courses, language courses. It could also be voluntary work. Do not hesitate to upload and document these kind of activities also. The kind of documentation that I have mentioned now are not needs to have. Therefore, if you don't add this kind of documentation, it's okay. We will not send you any reminder, but we strongly recommend you to upload this kind of supplementary documentation also, especially the motivational letter, because in that way we get some idea of who you are and what's your background, what's your experience. And what is very important, we can offer you credits for this in our evaluation of your application. And that's very important. So please remember that. However, now I will hand over to Charlotte again, and she will give you some further details about how to apply.
Absolutely. Because once you have gathered all the documentation you need to apply, you find our application form on the home page under Admission Winter. And you can see here that what you need to do is to go down and press application form for AP degrees and, well, top-up bachelor degree programs. And once you do that, you start actually your application online and you're in business. You must remember that you can only apply for 2 AP programs on this winter intake starting February 2021. If you want to change your application after you have uploaded it, you need to contact the admission office, because you cannot re-upload a new application. So I know that in a moment there will be an address that you can write to, but please don't do that. Please don't re-upload a new application. Just contact my colleagues and tell them that you would like to change something in the application. Perhaps you want to make another priority of the programs, because that's the way we work it around here. Also, you should know that after the application deadline, we will select some students for our waiting list, students that did not get a space in the first cut of the intake, and then put them on a waiting list. But you, as a student, cannot apply for one of these spaces on the waiting list. And now Søren is going to tell you something very important about keeping up with the deadlines.
Yes, deadlines are very important. Please do not ignore them. We must have your application on November 16 at the latest, 12 p.m. But I recommend to you that you send your application to us days before this deadline, because technical problems may occur, and then you will have time to solve the problem. And you will even have time to contact us if we should be of any help to you solving the problem. Documentation for exams that are not completed until after the application deadline must be forwarded to us as soon as you receive them, diploma or certificate, and no later than January 20 at 12 p.m. It could typically be a supplementary math course or an English test. All applicants from the European Union will receive a reply to their application on December 16. All applicants will receive the reply at Cphbusiness applicant.net. You will be informed about this in the confirmation message you get when you upload your application. If you are admitted, you must confirm or reject the offer of a study place. You will do that also at Cphbusiness applicant.net, and the deadline for this will be stated in the admission letter. But if you do not confirm your study place to the program concerned, your study place will simply be given to some other applicant for the program. So please remember that. Now it's time to hear more about typical mistakes made by applicants. And Sarah, she will take care of that.
Yes, thank you, Søren. My name is Sarah and I work at the admission office, and I will just go through some of the typical mistakes we see people make when they apply at Cphbusiness. The first one is that you forget to attach an English test or a booking of an English test. So if you don't have a past English test by the application deadline on the 16th of November, you must upload a booking of an English test and then upload your results before the 20th of January. The second one is that there is not a translated diploma. So if your diploma is not in Danish or English, it must be translated by a certified translator. And please remember that all the pages on your diploma and the translation must be stamped by the translator and signed. Also, if you haven't finished your final exam, if you finish it during the next couple of months, please notice that you must upload a transcript of records, and also the transcript must be translated as well into Danish or English. The third one is the upload of documentation. As Charlotte said, you cannot just upload a new application in case you missed some documentation when you applied. So I'll just show you on the webpage how you upload documentation to an application you already made. So this is the front page of our website. If you scroll down past the middle, just below the map, you'll see admission winter. This is where you find all the information about the winter admission. You can find the deadlines, and this is where you apply as well. When you scroll down a bit, you'll find this upload. And then you press on the upload. And please, when you upload documentation, so you have to fill out your information and upload here. When you upload the documentation or when you email the admission office, please use the email you used to apply with, so we can easily look up your application or attach the documentation you uploaded for your application. And then there's a few things we would like you to do when you apply. The first thing is only to upload one PDF with all the documentation you got. If you don't have a program on your computer, you can find one on Google, and you can merge all the files into one PDF. The second thing is, as Søren mentioned, that only documented experience counts. And also, I want you to know that this must be translated. So in case this is not in Danish or English, it will not count into your application. The third thing is that a lot of people ask if they should upload more than one motivational letter. We encourage you to upload one motivational letter per priority, so we can see what your motivation is for the different study programs. Then I would like to talk a bit about how we contact you. You can contact us on the email on the next slide. That's the email for the admission office. In case you have some questions about your applications, anything with admission, please don't hesitate to contact us on this email on the slide. The second thing is applicant.net. Within 24 hours of receiving your application, you will get an email with a link to applicant.net. To get a user on applicant.net, you have to press request password, fill in the email you used to apply with, and then you'll get a new email with a password. That's how you get your account to applicant.net. ApplicantNet is where we communicate about everything in case you're missing some documentation for your application. And also when you receive the answer for your applications, it'll be on ApplicantNet. Please notice that in case you're offered a study place, you'll only receive one reply. So if you have applied for 2 study programs and you are admitted for one of them, you'll only get 1 letter. If you receive rejections letters, you'll get 1 for each study program you applied for, but that's only in the case that you'll receive rejections on both your applications. If you wish to change priorities, please email us, and don't do it later than the 16th of November. That's the latest date we're able to change your priorities. Or if you wish to apply for a different study program that you already did, do it before the 16th of November by emailing us. And the last thing, when you upload an email, please use the email you used to apply with. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And now it is time for your questions. So if you have anything you would like us to address, now is the time to type away. And I can see we have a few in the chat now, so I will just see what you have written. We have one from Jonas. He's asking, when you go along, could you possibly highlight something apply to all foreign citizens, or when it only applies to European citizens? Sorry, Jonas, I didn't see the message before, but everything we have said today is mainly focused on European citizens. So I'm sorry I didn't say that before. And then we have another question from Adela. Hi, when will I know that I'm admitted if I want to apply for September 2021? Thank you. And I think we should take that one to you, Sarah.
Yes, so the deadlines for the summer intake, the first thing is that if you're applying for an AP program, it's through Optagelse. You have to apply before the 15th of March, and you'll receive your reply on the 28th of July.
Thank you, Sarah. And then we have another question from someone who's anonymous, who's asking, does the IB diploma count as sufficient proof of English? And Søren, will you answer that one?
Yes, that will be sufficient, because we know how to translate these kind of exam papers into the levels that we require. So that's okay. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Søren. And then we don't actually have any more questions. Can that really be true? Please ask. We are here to help you right now. I really hope that you will ask us a few more. And when they are typing, hopefully. One is asking, could you please specify once again, what is the qualifying exam? And Charlotte, could you take that one?
I can try. Yes, absolutely. The qualifying exam is a diploma where you ended your upper secondary school education, so to speak. Now, it is, of course, different from country to country, what it looks like, because in this country, it would be after what 13 years of education, so to speak. First with the primary school, secondary school, and upper secondary school, all put all together, so to speak, in one diploma with the results there. And we're talking in English terms, A and B levels, blah, blah, blah. So it all depends on actually where you're from. And we would have to see those papers, because it's not something we could sort of guide you on right here online. But I hope that sort of helped you a bit. Well, we're looking at least 13 years of education.
Thank you, Charlotte. And
may I just add a comment to that?
Yeah, sorry.
In case you have finished, for example, a bachelor or a master degree, we'll still need to get your high school diploma when you apply for an AP degree. So please upload all the different educations you have, but we need the diploma from your high school and the translated diploma.
Thank you, Sarah. And then we have someone asking, I think this would be a question for you, Søren. We have one asking, I would like to know if this diploma is internationally recognized to continue, for example, in a French business school. Søren, will you take that one?
Yes, I think that if you have these kind of specific questions regarding how we will evaluate your papers, you should use some of the links that I have just posted on the chat, because then you can just get in contact with us, and we can give you a reply to your specific question about your papers.
Yes, I think I might just add a few comments to
Yes,
that one, Don, because I think the question is also addressed that after, when you're done with your degree here at Cphbusiness, can you then apply to a French business school? And
okay.
the answer is that when you are at Cphbusiness, no matter which program you study, you will obtain ECTS points. And they are European Credit Transfer System points. So that means that across Europe, institutions, universities can see what have you studied, how much have you studied of what with Cphbusiness, and then if you want to apply to a French business school, that is possible because they will look at your curriculum from Cphbusiness, and then they will see, okay, you want to get into this, let's say a third year of a bachelor's degree, and you have done the AP degree in service hospitality and tourism management. How do the first 2 years from this bachelor degree compare to what you'd studied at Cphbusiness? And if there's a match, well, then you are most likely accepted into the third year of a bachelor's degree. If it doesn't match, then you might need to add extra ECTS points. It could be that they say, no, you don't have enough statistics or microeconomics. So it very much depends on the program you apply to.
Yes, and it's also very important to underline that we cannot guarantee anything regarding how to get access to further higher education in other institutions. But of course, as Katrine just mentioned, we have the ECTS points, which is an European standard. Yes.
And I would also encourage all of you who are considering, what can I do after? Well, first and foremost, you do, hopefully by now, since you are considering applying, you do know that we have top-up bachelor's degrees here at Cphbusiness you can apply to. But you can also consider other countries, and basically it's up to you to do the research. And a good place to look up what have other students done before you, it is actually to go to LinkedIn. Look up Copenhagen Business Academy on LinkedIn. And on there, you can find everybody who says on LinkedIn they have a connection to Cphbusiness. And then you can simply go through the different people and say, okay, what kind of route did they take after their degree with Cphbusiness? Where did they end up today? So that won't be us saying, what can you do with a degree? That is you looking at what people say they've done with a degree from Cphbusiness. So I definitely recommend you to do that research. Yes. And then we have a question from Stephanie, who's asking, the number of hours isn't written in my IB exam, but my levels are. Is that sufficient? Sarah, will you answer that one?
Yes, it is sufficient. Since we have the IB in Denmark as well, we can see what the levels are. Otherwise, we will contact you in case something is missing through ApplicantNet.
Thank you, Sarah. Then we have a question about, what about English tests for Scandinavian citizens? Søren, will you take that one?
Yes, if you are from a Scandinavian country, you don't have to take the test. We have similar kind of education in Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and that will be sufficient to have your papers from Sweden or Norway or wherever you come from. Sarah, you must correct me if I say something wrong, but I think that's how we do it.
Yes, just as the Danish citizens, you must have the same English level. So for the Danish citizens, we require English B level is what we call it in Denmark. So we will see if your English is equivalent. Otherwise, we'll contact you through ApplicantNet within the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Sarah. Then we have a question about, I was wondering, as a person who doesn't speak Danish yet, if the school offers any Danish classes, or do people just find language courses outside of school? And I actually think that I might answer that one, because we have a colleague here at Cphbusiness, and she is hired to help international applicants like you settle in Denmark. And once you have applied to Cphbusiness and you've been accepted, She will send you invitations to different events and sessions where she will help you get an overview of your options. So this semester, she has been doing online classes, Hygge Danish, where international students could meet online. And I know she's planning on doing something similar in the next semester that is coming up with new students. Also, she will tell you what options do you have if you want to come and you want to follow Danish classes. We try to make them on campus, but it depends on the demand for it. So whether it's on campus or somewhere in the city that you can follow the official modules, that will simply depend on the number who's interested in the course at the same time as you are. Yes, and let me just see. Then we have a question about what exactly counts as documentation for math or business economic experiences. And I think, Sarah, will you give a reply to that one?
Yes, you can get the school you went to sign a paper that states how many hours you did the math class or the business economics. The most important thing is that it's signed and stamped from your school, so you can't just print a paper, you must get it signed by the school.
Thank you. And then we have a question about, is it possible to switch programs after 1 year? For example, from the hospitality to the marketing management program. And I think it's just for you, Charlotte, this question. Charlotte, we need you to unmute.
Yes, I'm sorry. No, it's not possible. You have to, if you have decided that the AP program that you started on is not really something that is for you, then you have to apply again for the program that you wish to sign up for. So you cannot transfer in any way. You cannot transfer points either. So you have to sort of get back in line and go through the motions again.
Thank you, Charlotte. And those were the questions. So now's the last chance to type away if you have any more. And while you are hopefully doing that, I just want to mention that if you are still interested and eager to learn more, I strongly encourage you to follow the next webinar, which we are hosting next week on Thursday, 5th of November, where you can meet 3 students and the colleague I just mentioned, Helen, who is helping you settle in Copenhagen. They will all be in front of the camera and give you information about all the things about living in Copenhagen outside of school. What's it like? How much does it cost? How can you survive on a student budget? And so on. The link for the webinar is already on our website. So make sure to put it in your calendar if you want to learn more. Right. There are no more questions. So I want to say on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for attending this session. And just remember that you can always reach out to us in case you have any questions. We are here to help you, and we hope all to meet you at one point here at Cphbusiness. So thank you for today, and fingers crossed for your application. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.